Shabbat Shalom, everybody. We're going to get started. It's so wonderful to be here together. This is a very special Shabbat. Technically speaking, the way we roll, we don't normally do the Shabbat right before Passover, but there's so many people that have such an overwhelming desire to stick to at least the 30 services that we have a month, because our social activities outnumber them to a degree. But we do have services every single week. The first Friday, the second Saturday, the third Friday, and then the fourth Saturday is Havdalah. So you do have something every week. So we are thrilled to be here, and normally this is Shabbat HaGadol, which means there are 2 times a year when you're supposed to get an extremely long sermon. Of course, I won't do that to you. I see the faces right now. One is Shabbat HaGadol, the great HaGadol Shabbat. This is the big one where you're supposed to have a lot. So yes, no, I won't do that to you, but I am going to read some Haftarah for this Shabbos and a few words. And then the other is right before Rosh Hashanah. But technically speaking, this is our new year. So as we begin this service, I would like you to contemplate what it means. Think of this as Rosh Hashanah. Everyone dresses up in their finery and they think that Rosh Hashanah is the end-all, be-all beginning of the new year. But our new year is really Pesach, because we were liberated, we were freed from slavery, we had the opportunity to go forward toward our destiny and to become Am Yisrael, the people of Israel. And there are many who are fighting for our right to continue to be Am Yisrael. And our prayers and thoughts, I would like to dedicate this service, even though Marianne, our violinist, is not here. Her daughter Sasha and her son-in-law Oren, they were married today. Of course, in Israel's time, it's already tomorrow, but they were married today in Israel. Of course, I officiated their marriage at the end of September, and then October 7th happened. So their wedding in Israel was put off. And it is very sad. We would like to give note to those friends and loved ones that they've lost. They were supposed to have 450 people. They have 350. 100 of them have been lost, either to the war, they're either serving, or they are hostages, or they were killed at the concert. So an amazing thing about Israelis, they don't let anything stop them. There are weddings, there are brises, there are Brit Mi'atla, there are so many opportunities to continue to celebrate. And it is important to celebrate, because that is how we don't let evil win. And evil never wins. Not at Purim, not with Hamas, not at Passover, not with Pharaoh, not at the time of the Holocaust with Hitler. I mean, yes, Hitler killed a lot of Jews, but guess what? I hate to liken us to cockroaches, but we don't go away. We are still here, and we are hard-shelled, and we will not let anyone stop us. We are the most brilliant minds. We make the greatest contributions, and we have the most humanity. And so it's important to know that we're going to dedicate this service to all in Yerushalayim, most particularly Sasha and Oren, on the timely event of their wedding in Israel. So now if you will take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Heather and Jeremy will come forward, and we're going to sing Hinu Matov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. And it's not just mindless words. You know how wonderful it is for brothers and sisters to dwell together. We are all brothers and sisters sharing this planet that we call home. We are cousins with those in the Middle East that wish to harm us, or vice versa, whoever is on the side of the table that thinks that their way is the right way. But the reality is, what COVID taught us is we are all human. And I hate to say it, I don't wish for anyone to have COVID or be sick, or those who have passed, but there's 2 things I miss about COVID times. No traffic. Yeah, I miss those days. But most particularly the kindness. Everyone realized that we are brothers and sisters. We are all connected. It doesn't matter what color we are, what country we come from. And then it's as if everyone was let out of their cages of their home, and they went crazy. And it's like a kettle that's boiling and boiling and boiling and boiling with too much water, and the lid is on it, and then it blows off, and the steam goes everywhere, and the water spills everywhere. And those are the conditions that we're living in right now. Most particularly, I want to say this at the onset. I know some of you do not believe in Mercury retrograde, but I do tend to get emails and phone calls and texts at this time. So, for those non-believers, everyone here who has noticed from April 1st, and I'm sorry to say this, it goes through April 25th, the whole Hamoed days, the middle days of Pesach, Mercury's in retrograde. So, if you have noticed things are breaking, mechanical things, computers, cell phones, printers, communication, I don't know what's going on, but today I had to remind myself all day long, people are crazy, it's Mercury retrograde, just smile and move on. How many have experienced more challenging times with your electronics or your communications in the last couple of weeks? Raise your hand. Okay, don't be shy, raise it up so people can see you. How many people have experienced a phone call? Somebody that was in your life that you haven't, or maybe an email or a text message. The good part of Mercury retrograde is some things that you have yet to finish that you did not complete, you will start to complete. Things that should have been happening for you will start to happen. Has anyone experienced anything like that? Has any family members come around that maybe have been resistant? These are the things that we want to experience. So there's good things to the fact that Mercury retrograde is happening right at the beginning of Pesach, and there are those things that are a little more aggravating. So we will pray that there's peace in Yerushalayim and around the world. We will take our prayers that we manifest with a minyan of 10 or more, our collective prayers on this Shabbat, and we will send them to Israel for Sasha and Oren, and may this be a blissful time for them and going forward. And let us elevate all of humanity with our prayers on this day. Shabbat Shalom, Hine Matov, page 128.
Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, hine matov. Yalalai, yalalai, yalalai. Hine matov, hine matov. Yalalai, yalalai, yalalai. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Shevet achim gam yachad.
Shabbat Shalom. So now we are going to kindle the lights of Shabbat on page 120, and I'd like to call forward Cookie to come kindle the lights. So we have two candlesticks representing two loving partners and also the partnership between Am Yisrael and the divine, Adonai. And when we make those three circles, bringing that light into our being for this Shabbat. Thank you, Cookie. There are the candles. And so as Cookie lights each candle, focus. Breathe in the illuminating brilliance of that light as we close out this period and we enter into Shabbat that leads us right into Pesach. So focus on the light. And we make those three circles. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Turn to someone next to you and say, Shabbat Shalom, give them a hug or hug yourself. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you so much. Be careful. All right, if you will turn to page 138, we have Lecha Dodi. We're welcoming the Sabbath bride on verse 9. Nekavela. 138. Lecha dodi likratala yala yala yala. B'nei Shabbat. Nekavela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad. Hishmiyanu el hamay echad. Adonai echad. V'shemo echad. L'Shem l'Tiferet v'nitet l'Hila. Everybody. Lecha dodi likratala yala yala yala. B'nei Shabbat. Nekavela. Let me see you. Lecha dodi likrat. Come on. La 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 la. B'nei Shabbat. Nekavela. Verse 5. Hitoreri. Kiva orech umi ori ori ori. Shirdaveri. Kevod Adonai. Alayit nigla. Lecha dodi likrat. Alay 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 alay. B'nei Shabbat. Nekavela. Lecha dodi likrat. Alay 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 alay. B'nei Shabbat. Nekavela. Verse 9. B'oiv shalom ateret bala. Gam besimcha v'tzochola. Tochen v'nei am segula. B'oiv chala. B'oiv chala. Everybody. Lecha dodi likrat. Alay 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 alay. B'nei Shabbat. Nekavela. Lecha dodi likrat. Alay 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 alay. B'nei Shabbat. Nekavela. Please be seated. And turn to page 142 as we welcome in the Shabbos angels. Shalom Aleichem. I say to you, Shalom Aleichem. What do you say to me? Aleichem Shalom. May the angels be with us at this time of Shabbat and always. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'hem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Oh. Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Third verse. Baruch Huni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Last verse. Sechem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And together let's read on the bottom of page 145. Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time. Even at unlikely times and through unlikely places, there is no place on earth without the presence. And the Hatzu Kaddish on page 144. Yitgadol v'yitgadash shemei Rava ve'almad yivrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayecha v'yomechon v'chayedecho beit Yisrael v'gala v'gala v'zman karerim ro Yehi shemei Rava mevarach Le'alam lo me'amaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitbar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh V'yit hadar v'yit halev v'yit halal Shemei dekudashah Rehulela min kol berchata v'shirata tishbechata v'nechemata da'mihiran be'alma v'imero. Amen. And now the call to worship on page 146. Ya la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. Olam Vaed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Vaed. Please be seated. Our evening prayer, our Ma'ariv, our Ravim on page 148, but first let us read together on the bottom of page 149. This is an hour of change, and within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back, my brother, or my sister? Shall we draw back or cross over? And where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? For this is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai ha'mariv ha'ravim. So we have this opportunity as we contemplate what it means to be going right into Pesach next week. Do we hang back or do we cross over? Do we take that plunge? Do we take that risk? Do we go forward toward our destiny even when it is uncertain or maybe seems daunting or challenging? This is what we celebrate with the Mechamocha every Shabbat when we do that and when we do it in services. So right now, as we contemplate what it might mean to go forward toward an uncertain future, as all of humanity is, we do our evening prayer on page 148. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, bechokhma poteach she'arim, uvivuna meshaneh itim umachalif et hazmanim, umisader et hachochavim b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzno. Rayom v'layla, gulel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Umavir yom u'mevi layla, umavdil ben yom u'vei layla. Adonai Sabaoth Shemo, El Chai v'kayam, Tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Hamariv Aravim. Ahavat Olam on page 150. And as Dan is playing, and Hilda, let us read together the English on the bottom of page 150. Everlasting love you have offered your people Israel, by teaching us Torah, mitzvot, laws, and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people, Israel. Ahavat Olam. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, atanu limadata, atanu limadata. Akein Adonai Eloheinu v'shomreinu v'kumeinu nasiach v'chukecha v'nizmach v'nivrei toratecha v'mitzvotecha And together on the bottom of 150. Everlasting love, you offered your people Yisrael by teaching us Torah, mitzvot, laws, and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect upon them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. Heather will come forward and lead the Shema. If you'd like to stand, please do. If you'd like to be seated, please do. However you're able to make that connection, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And as we contemplate, many of you at this time are watching the Ten Commandments on TV. What was it like to be there then? Who were you with? Who are you with now? Feel that, be that, own that. The Shema. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod seated. And you can find the Ve'ahavta on the next page, which is part of the Shema and the Shema's blessings. I know we've mentioned several times about the possibility of a prayer class. Maybe we'll do it in May between Passover and Shavuot. However, everyone needs to want to do it, lots of people. And so far, I've only heard from 3. And so, if you would like to learn more about what the prayers mean in a Kabbalistic sense as well, not just, actually in this book, if you read the English underneath each prayer, all service ones, that's pretty much the esoteric version of what the prayers mean, exactly. But if you go to service 2, there are almost word for word what the prayers mean in the Hebrew. It's a little more linear. That service, and service 1 is of evening and day, is a little more global. So you actually have the interpretation. If you take the Hebrew and break it down, it's like Spanish or other languages where, each word has a root, and then it has, masculine and feminine and plural and all these other things attached to it. So basically what we would just be doing is literally going over more what the actual meaning is and how it can relate, manifest in your life, how you can use the prayers to engage certain things, manifest. Many people wonder, how do you pray? And I always get that question. Well, you have a prayer book right here. But if you actually aren't just reading it is good, but if you have some connection to it in another way that you can find, and the mystical side of Judaism, sometimes things are not at all what they appear in any way, shape, or form. So we will attach that. We did it briefly many years ago prior to COVID, and we can pick that up and go forward. In the fall, we'll start the actual Hebrew meditation again and prayer reading class, so that those of you that want to have a bar bat mitzvah or a confirmation or master scholar or something like that, we can work towards that, hopefully towards the end of 2025 or the beginning of 2026. When you make these plans, it is our fervent wish that Hashem will protect us and keep us going till that point. As we know, as evidenced with Mark Riker, he had his 90th bar mitzvah. He's going to live to 120. His 90th second bar mitzvah, just like Moses. When you get to 120, we're going to put it out there on the bima. I don't know if you want to go that long, Mark, but we'll be prepared for another celebration. Right now, we'll plan for 100, then maybe 118. I want to see you on the Nutsbury farm jars, that you're one of those that live. He is our mascot and our example for how to live life faithfully and fully. So the Ve'ahavta on page 154. Together let us read on the top of 155 first. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words that I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai, your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai, your God. So let us remember this in just a few short days. I am Adonai, your God. Together, I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai, your God. So the line, teach them to your children. So I called my family back east to wish my daughter, my granddaughter, and all of them a good Shabbos. And so my daughter's explaining to me how she's actually really tired. And I said, I hear that you're tired, and you're working at the hospital, and you're working at the shul, and you're doing all this stuff. She's the president of the Neshama Jewish Chaplains Association, all this stuff. I said, why are you hosting Passover? Why can't you go to your mother-in-law? Why can't you go to other people? Why are you doing it all? And she said, for Ella. Because she will be more comfortable, and she's 4.5, almost 5. She really enjoys having everyone come to our house. And so I hear Ella, and Ella says, Mama, you're tired? We're not going to shul for Shabbat? And so Liz whispers to me, I'm working the whole weekend. I'm giving all the sermons. I'm doing everything for the whole Shabbat. And then she turns to Ella and she goes, Ella, of course we're going to shul on Shabbos. We would not don't worry, we're going to shul. So teach it to your children. And I know many of you have done this as well. And it was a blessing to I want to thank Mark Reichard for leading the service on Saturday with Jeremy and Heather, and also Dan and our musicians, and also I hear Joy, you did the Amidah, and whoever stepped up, thank you so much, so that I could officiate the Jewish wedding for Mark's son, our son David, and now his bride, Michelle. So I have been booked up. Jews and non-Jews alike are so excited. They want to have Rabbi Didi do their service. So we're just planting the little seeds everywhere so they can blossom and grow. And that's all we're trying to do, help people be spiritual and go forward with light and divinity in their hearts, their souls, and in their journeys through life. So the Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha v'chol nafshecha v'chol meodecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha Hayom alevavecha, veshinantam levanecha, vedibartavam, beshitecha bevetecha, uvelechtecha vadera, uveshochvacha, uvekumecha, ukashartam leot al yadecha, vehayu letotafot beinenecha, uchtavtam, al mezuzot betecha, uvisharecha, Leman tizkaru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hiyatem kedoshim lelohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti echem me'eretz Mitzrayim l'hiyot lachem lelohim Ani Adonai Elohechem Emet. Also, if you're interested in the class, I keep saying, I need to know if you want to do it in person or online. I know in our Zoom classes are doing very well. Dan has good attendance at his. I know Roger has his loyal following. But I am being told by the 3 people that want to do it that they want to come in the building and they want to experience. So we have this building, and let us know if you would prefer day or evening. We are flexible here. But as we say about the Ve'ahavta, and we are meant to follow God's laws and precepts, one of the things, we say in the daily one about the tzitzit that we wear, but we are meant to wear a kippah if we so choose to, out of respect to God. So if you notice when you enter in, we have replaced the kippot with some beautiful kippot that people can borrow or take that are from David's wedding. So we have a nice basket out there with all brand new kippot. And if those end up gone, we will buy more so that we will have nice kippot for everyone to wear. So let us move on to the top of page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot. That yes, wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place and a promised land, and that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness. And there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. So if you would like to dance, please do. Heather will come sing. Jeremy will lead the dancing. And our violinist is not here, our fiddler on the roof of the Mishkan Tefillah. Hilda, we will not ask you to dance with the harp. So, Mecha Mocha, page 158. If you'd like to get up, come on. You can shake your tissue in the pews if you want. All right, the men shall lead us. Okay, it was the women. Come on, anybody? All right, let's go. Sunny, you can stand up if you feel like it. And there's Rebecca with her beautiful shoes. And so now let us read at the top of page 161. Let there be love and understanding among us, and let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. Hashkivenu on page 160. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God, and bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom, Leshalom, Lehamidenu, Shomrenu, Lechaylim. Ufaros aleinu sukat shlomecha, Ufaros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Shalom Ufaros aleinu sukat shlomecha. We ask that God spread over us that shelter of peace. And once again, we're not just singing this, we're not just saying it, we are actively praying and hoping to manifest. We are a religion of action. We say a prayer, we kindle the lights. We say a prayer, we drink the wine. We say a prayer, we break bread, we eat the bread. We're going to have all kinds of prayers we're going to say at the Seder. We actively are engaged in manifesting energy. And so when we say this, Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, we are saying, spread over us this blanket, like a talit. The talit is a blanket, it is the embrace of God over all the four corners of the world, of the earth. That's what these four corners are. And the 613 knots, all the mitzvot that we are meant to follow. So I say this not in a big long sermon for Shabbat HaGadol, but as we go through so that you can hopefully make a connection to what we are really supposed to be doing. This is the new year. Rosh Hashanah is a good new year and a nice fresh start. This is it. This is where we're going to lay the groundwork for what the rest of the year is going to be. And it is not an accident that we have Mercury retrograde on top of it. We need to go through the obstacles and the difficulties, and we need to finish the things that we've left undone. And we need to clean up our chametz. We need to look at the stuff that's puffing us up, and what are the crumbs that we're leaving around that are making our lives just a little bit too messy. What can we clean up in our house, in our home, in the home in our soul? and in our relationships. This is the best time to do it. There's always good times in Judaism, but this is a great time. So now we have Vishamru, page 162. And at the top, we are a people at 163, in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. Should we do Finkelstein, or what are we doing here? Whatever you want. Debbie Friedman for you, Joy, her cousin. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasor et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam Ve'erid olam v'ni uvein b'nei Yisrael Oti le'olam Sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz v'ayom hashvi'i Shabbat Shabbat v'yinafar Shabbat Shabbat v'yinafar Shabbat Shabbat v'yinafar Shabbat Shabbat v'yinafar. And let us read under the prayer in the English on 162. The people of Yisrael shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time. It is a sign for all time between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day God ceased from work and was refreshed. If you're able to, please rise for the Amidah on page 164 and the following pages. This is the very last time in our services that you will do the insert for what? Yes, after Monday, we are going into summer. Adonai, Adonai, Sfatai Tiftach, Adonai, Ufi Yagid Tahilatecha, Adonai, Adonai, Sfatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tahilatecha, Adonai, Sfatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tahilatecha, Adonai, Sfatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tahilatecha, Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Geulah Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Ve'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezra Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei Hakol Atah, Rav Lehoshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Marid Hagashem, Mechalkel Chayim Bechesed, Mechayei Meitim Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofei Cholim, U'Matir Asurim, U'Mekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Gevurot, U'Mido Melah, Melech Memid, U'Mechayeh, U'Matzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai Mechayei hametim. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, v'kadoshim v'chol yom, Yehalalucha Selah, Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. Shabbat Shalom. So I am going to read you first some words from, we have the Torah and the Haftarah. So the Haftarah are readings from the prophets. It's not a half a Torah. It's readings from the prophets that are aligned with the Torah portion. And because this is Shabbat HaGadol, this one is aligned with this Shabbat. This Shabbat is also Metzora, which is we're going through all of the laws of leprosy and things like that you've been hearing about for the last couple of weeks. But this is the Haftarah from Achi, and I'll read to you. Then the offerings of Judah and Jerusalem shall be pleasing to the Lord, as in the days of yore, and in the days and years of old. But first, I will step forward to contend against you, and I will act as a relentless accuser against those who have no fear of me, who practices sorcery, who commit adultery, who swear falsely, who cheat laborers of their fair share of earnings, and who subvert the cause of the widow, the orphan, the stranger. Yes, this was said by the Lord of hosts. For I am the Lord, I have not changed, and you are the children of Jacob. You have not ceased to be. From the very days of your fathers, you have turned away from my laws, you have not observed them. Turn back to me, and I will turn back to you, said the Lord of hosts. But you ask, how shall we turn back? Ought man defraud God? Yet you are defrauding me, and you ask, how have we been defrauding you? In tithe and contribution. You are suffering under a curse, yet you go on defrauding me, the whole nation of you. Bring the full tithe into the storehouse, and let there be food in my house, and thus put me to the test. Thus said the Lord of hosts. I will then surely open the floodgates of the sky for you and pour down blessings upon you, bountiful blessings. And I will banish the locusts from you, so that they will not destroy the yield of your soil, and your vines in the field shall no longer miscarry. And all of the nations shall account you happy, for you shall be the most desired of lands, said the Lord of hosts. You have spoken harsh words against me, said the Lord. But you ask, what have we been saying among ourselves against you? You have said, it is useless to serve God. What have we gained by keeping his charge and walking in abject awe of the Lord of hosts? And so we account the arrogant happy. They have indeed done evil and endured. They have indeed dared God and escaped. In this vein have those who revere the Lord been talking to one another. The Lord has heard, and the Lord has noted it, and a scroll of remembrance has been written at his behest concerning those who revere the Lord and esteem his name. And on the day that I am preparing, said the Lord of hosts, they shall be my treasured possession. I will be tender toward them as a man is tender toward a son who ministers to him. And you shall come to see the difference between the righteous and the wicked, between him who has served the Lord and him who has not served the Lord. For lo, that day is at hand, burning like an oven. All the arrogant and all the doers of evil shall be straw. And that day is coming, said the Lord of hosts. That day we shall burn them to ashes and leave them neither stock nor boughs. But for you who revere my name, a son of victory shall rise to bring healing. You shall go forth and stamp like stall-fed calves, and you shall trample the wicked to a pulp, for they shall be dust beneath your feet on the day that I am preparing. We are all waiting for this day. Be mindful of the teaching of my servant Moses, whom I charged at Horeb with laws and rules for all Israel. Lo, I will send the prophet Elijah to you before the coming of the awesome, fearful day of the Lord. He shall reconcile parents with children and children with parents, so that when I come, I do not strike the whole land with utter destruction. And we know about that. Think of the time of Noah. Lo, I will send the prophet Elijah to you before the coming of the awesome, fearful day of the Lord. So what does this mean for us today? As we contemplate Passover amidst such horrific turbulence and confusion. Years ago, I was in the valley buying some things at Shalom House, which many of us have taken a trip. And there was this homeless man, and he was asking for some money. I gave him some, and he had children with him. And the strangest thing was that I then left that area and went to a completely different area of LA. And there was this homeless man and his children, and he asked for money, and it was the same man. It is said that there are messengers around us, watching us all the time. I have moved into a senior community and they are watching me all the time. Rabbi with the red hair, I just called the main person to discuss this. So the reality is, eyes are on us. The angels are watching us at Shabbat. That's why we sing Shalom Aleichem. They're watching to see who's peeking through the window. They're peeking through the window to see if we're naughty or nice, to see if we're observing Shabbat. But God is watching. We don't know. But there's energy in the universe. And what I say at High Holy Days, character is what we do when nobody is around us. But it's also what we do when someone's right in front of us and we want to turn away and not think about them. You know, we have some people who are complaining about some of our meals that we go out because some people are paying less than others, and some people don't want to give 20% tip, and some people want to give 10%. You know what? Give. Be grateful that you're sitting at the table and that person is serving you, and guess what? They're dealing with some really cranky people. And you know what? Sometimes those cranky people are us. So, this is Shabbat HaGadol, which corresponds to Parsha Metzora this year, which is the big Parsha of leprosy. 1 year for the adult B'nai Mitzvah class, we were going to do this, and they all had a big fit, and we didn't do it, and we switched to Kiddushim, which was the holiness code. But Metzora can be actual boils and skin problems that happen on your body and also in your home. I know Pat referred to that in her words last Shabbat. But it's also slander, bad speech. Miriam, there was gossip about Moses, and she got leprosy. Okay, so it's also, people don't liken it to that slanderous bit of what could happen when we speak Lashon Hara, gossip. But when I did the wedding on Saturday, some of you have had me do weddings in your families. There's about, 5 or 6 of you out there, but 5 or 6 weddings. I took the glass, I put it down. We were in this very tight space, and it was starting to roll towards the bride's dress. So I picked it up, turned it face down, and it didn't smash. So of course the groom, who is my son, my stepson, is horrified. So then I wrap it all up really tight and I put it on its side and he smashes it. And so later on we're talking to him and I said to him, it's like when we light the candles and sometimes we have to work a little harder. Smashing that glass obliterates negativity. And this was a glorious wedding. It cost a lot of money and he was able to pay for most of it. And he's in his early 30s. Because he did well in his work. And in the bathroom, someone was overheard gossiping about, well, how beautiful it was and how much money was spent on it. And oh, well, we're doing well, as if to say, and I said to him, I didn't want to share this with you, but there was negativity, there was jealousy, there was envy, and you had to obliterate it. And I'm sorry, but that's the human condition. King David, that many people have, Saul, why is this person getting all this and I'm not getting this? It's for God to judge. We don't know. But the reality is there's negativity in this world and around us all the time. That's where people wear the red string, the Kabbalists. That's why people put a red string on a baby's crib. That's why people don't want to even talk about being pregnant for a while, because the evil eye is around us. That is why I have a bracelet with red rubies and a ring, because there's negativity all around us. So, what do we do about this? Take care of our own business, keep our slate clean, keep going forward. And sometimes you just got to kill them with kindness. And hopefully, they will be reborn in a happier state of being. Another portion that discusses the further affliction of Sara'at. This is the disease, I said, a blemish like leprosy that can affect not only people or houses. This is the last week, the week before, all of this time. What is it doing? It's leading us right up to Passover so that we can clean ourselves of the things that blemish us, and they're not just necessarily sores, that blemish our soul. We have a physical vessel which houses our soul, and we have our physical dwelling which houses everything that we hold dear in the physical world, our family, our mementos, our possessions, a place where we are supposed to celebrate and observe Shabbat, and yes, too, have Passover seders, those that are coming, like we're going to do next week. This is our temple home. It says on your prayer books, Mishkan Tefillah, a dwelling place, the home, the house of prayer. All are meant to be holy vessels through which God can then dwell and manifest goodness, everything that we've been promised. But we have to be pure. We have to earn it. Elijah could be watching us. Messengers are watching us all the time. What are we doing? I know there's many of you here that donate all of your time here in the temple and in other places. Sunny, I was hoping I could find you on Monday so I could turn in my tax return after 5, not for me, but for my son, but he didn't really have to fill one out anyway. But I was like, where's Sunny? She works at the post office. Maybe she can sneak it around the back. Character is what you do when no one's looking. So, as our Haftarah portion suggests, we have strayed from God in our own ways at different moments. If you think you haven't, think again. From our belief, which is at times questioning and even accusatory at times, amidst the distress that we are feeling in our days when there was COVID, where's God? Everything that's going on in the Middle East, where's God? Our world condition, let's blame it on God. And when there's tragedy in our lives, where's God? God's position is for us not to lose heart, not to lose faith, and our commitment And if we do this, we will be rewarded. And we don't know if it's going to be in this lifetime or the next, but the next one's much longer. Evil will be overturned, and the righteous will prevail. We can only pray and hope that this is true. Emet. We are never supposed to act for the sake of reward or for the fear of punishment. The choices we make must spring from our heart and spring from our soul, mindful of the eternal, but coming from us. Life is short. What lies beyond and possible judgment is much greater. And on this Shabbat HaGadol, this great Shabbat, we are supposed to get this sermon to remind us. Passover is an annual exercise in remembrance and order. Seder means order. What are we supposed to remember? The miracles that God manifested for us and continues to manifest for us if we just open up our eyes and our hearts to see. Amidst the darkness and the chaos, there is resilience and faith and love and support and people coming together that are the best of humanity and the best of God. And along with that, a certain amount of fearlessness on the part of some of those who battle the evils that surround us and threaten us so that we can be safe. Where does the strength come from when fiercely battling an illness or going into war zones to feed or help those in need, or for the many who are risking their lives for the right of all of us to survive? There is God. We live in difficult times, but yet every generation has seen some sense of loss or calamity. Many different peoples have dealt with horrific acts of injustice. We just saw a movie, the group of us that went to the movies, Irena's Vow, and this was a Polish girl, very young, and here she was, she found herself, she went to her home, her family wasn't there, the Hitler's people had taken it over, and she had to really compromise herself in order to save the 11 Jews that were sewing in the basement of the house that she was supposed to be in charge of. And so she made a choice. She could have looked the other way. She could have gone on and lived a cushy life in an even bigger house, but she chose to save these people and put her life on the line. And then she was rewarded later on. She eventually ended up, it's like what goes around comes around. She took in one more Jewish man, a 12th, that, and I don't want to, hopefully you'll see it, but she took him in, and I don't want to ruin it for you, but she took him in. And some of the others felt it was a risk. Also, someone got pregnant. She said, "Look, we got to have this baby. It's against my religion." She was Catholic. But she was later reconnected with these people. That young man that baby grew into a man. And when she was in a detention camp, once the war was lost on their side, it was that Jewish family that saved her and got her out with a Jewish passport. So what we put out in the world, we get back. Sometimes we see it right away. And when she was in the detention camp, she met a nice man, and 5 years later, she was reunited with him, and she married him and had a wonderful life. So we don't know when we're in the middle of the darkness and the chaos what or why, but God is there. And sometimes it just has to play out. And it's hard for us to relinquish that control. This Shabbat, God promises in our Haftarah portion to send Elijah before us. Why again? What did I just tell you? Because Elijah is meant to watch us and check, as I said before, whether we've been naughty or nice, to see if we are worthy of ultimate redemption and to see if we really are justified in having it come our way at this time, a perfect world of purity and peace. We have to earn it. And a little bit I'm talking to the choir here because I know how hard and how much many of you work to support Judaism and give in your own lives, but there's always more. We have to hold on to our faith and belief that the darkness will pass over us, as it has in the past. In the story that we will recount in just a few days, we are meant to remember that. Miracles do happen, but not without a lot of work on our part. We have to be proactive. We have to go forward into the seed and not be swallowed up by Pharaoh and the chariots. And we have to have a faith that is unwavering in that which is unseen. As we confront our chametz, that which puffs us up and does not serve us, ego, pride, hatred, jealousy, the things that eat away at our soul, our relationships, and create dis-ease and ultimately disease. Let us remember the parshiot that have surrounded us these last few Shabbatot, speaking of all this leprosy and disease, and reach to do that which is necessary to cleanse ourselves. Passover is our actual new year, as I've said. We became a nation. We became a people devoted to the one true God. Let us rekindle our faith and renew our commitment so that when we open our doors at our Seder, Elijah will come with a promise of peace, peace in our hearts, peace in our homes, peace in our community, peace in our relationships, and peace for all humanity and beyond. Peace in the Middle East, and for all who are waging war against these horrific evils that threaten to destroy us. Let the darkness pass over, and let a new light be seen. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will. Shabbat Shalom. Now, many of you, there was a link to sell your chametz. If you're not cleaning out your house, we have these forms. Even if you are cleaning out your house and your cars, do you know that even if you have a book that you've been reading and eating by, you're supposed to shake out the crumbs? We can never find all the crumbs, just like no matter how good we try to be or are, we're never sometimes going to feel like we're ever good enough. Or is it really being watched? Does anybody really care? Does anybody see what we're doing? But the reality is, someone's watching. Sell your chametz. Not only, we talked about tithing and giving, it's only $18. Chai, life, yud, chet. You would see this in the Hebrew class. It would be life and God. So, you fill it out, you sell your chametz, and even if you cleaned out your whole house and boiled your counters, which I'm sure many of us are not doing, you have sold your chametz. If you're going to go out to the pancake house during Passover, maybe just skip the pancakes, skip the bread, maybe just eat the eggs, maybe don't have the ham. I'm just saying, during this week, this is the week to try to be our best. But sell your chametz. You can do it online. You can give it to me. You can come to Hoff's Hut on Monday when we have our annual chametz breakfast, where we will gorge ourselves with all those things I just mentioned. And then we will burn our crumbs. So, we have our wonderful pyrotechnic people. Tim Jones will be there. So in the back, I have bags. You can get a white pure bag, or you can take a colored bag. And I have a candle for you, and a feather, and a spoon. Now, yes, it's a little hard to go. You're supposed to take 10. 10 is a number for God. 10 little crusts of bread, little crumbs. Put them around your house. It helps if you have somebody else with you, but if you don't, that's fine. You can just forget. Just like when we light the candles, we forget that we just lit them, and when we're surprised when we look at them, go around, use your feather, scoop up your little breadcrumb onto your spoon. It's nice if you have this wrapped in foil. You're supposed to turn off all the lights, so you really are on a mystery scavenger hunt for the things that you have not uncovered within yourself and in your life. And then you put the chametz in the bag, and you come to breakfast, and after we eat, we burn it. Last year we did it at Good Stuff. It was really strange at the mall, going to the back, burning our little things, people looking at us. But we do it pretty well at Hoff's Hut. So we've done it at the Pan, we've done it at different places. So come burn your chametz with us, or just fill out your form, and know that this works. So you can clear out your cupboards of your house, but you can clear out the cobwebs in your spirit and your soul, and you can enter in fresh for a whole new year. So what are the grains that you are supposed to be mindful of? Things that puff up, okay, that rise for more than 18 minutes. That's why 18 high. We have our matzah, and then we are supposed to avoid wheat, barley, rye, oats, spelt. Okay, wheat, barley, rye, oats, spelt. Basically, cake, cookies doesn't rise past 18 minutes. So they didn't have time. You know, make a matzah, pat, pat, pat. Do not make it fat, fat, fat. Make a matzah, flat, flat, flat. Make a matzah just like that. Used to have children in religious school. I'll miss those days. But yeah, it doesn't rise. So anything that hasn't had time for the yeast to help it swell and puff up, just like us. That's why it seems odd that we have, Passover cookies and brownies and cake and all those things. And take a look at that box of matzah. I just want to tell you, we are not supposed to gain weight when we have sweets on Shabbat or during Passover, but I just want you to be mindful of those carbohydrates. And that matzah, it's some fattening stuff. So don't eat the whole box of chocolate matzah. Just, as the Kabbalists would say, take a taste to make the connection. So that being said, Shabbat Shalom. Okay, so now we are going to have nice, sugary challah back there and cake, because these are our final moments. So we are going to do the Misha Barak. If you'll turn to page 371, and if you have someone that you want to send a prayer of healing to, think of them, see them in your mind's eye and in your heart as we sing this prayer. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. See your people. Say their names in your heart. Do they need a boost of health and healing, spiritually, physically? And those around the world who need a refuah shlema. And now if you will turn to the Aleinu and Rise if you're able on 586 and the following pages, bottom paragraph. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'ateit gidol le'yotzer b'reishi, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, ve'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkenu kahem, ve'gor aleinu kechol hamona, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu, shehu notei shamayim ve'yoser haaretz, u'moshev yakaro v'shamayim imaho, u'shechina duzo, u'shechina duzo, ve'govhei merahomim, hu Eloheinu Enon, Emet Malkeinu, Efes Ulato, kakatu, betorato, ve'adata hayom, ve'adata hayom, v'hashavota el lavavecha. Ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim, b'shamayim nimal, ve'al haaretz mitachat einod, einod, einod. V'ne'emar, v'haya Adonai, lemelech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yehyeh Adonai echad, u'shemo, u'shemo, u'shemo echad. Please be seated. And now, if you'll turn to page 598, our thoughts and prayers go to those who have moved into the spiritual realm, and our love and light goes to Alan Revine on the loss of his brother, who passed this morning, yes? Yesterday morning? So we are with you in spirit and heart. Oh, that's right, I texted you. So we are a community, and we love you, and may you be lifted up and elevated, and may he as well. And if you need us, let us know. Alan will be going in May to a celebration of life, he and Fran, for his brother. So, if you've lost someone in the last 7 days, please rise and say your loved one's name. Anybody else in the last 7 days? If you've lost someone in the last 30 days, please rise and say your loved one's name. Stay standing. Last 30 days? If you've lost anyone in the last 11 months, please rise. Stay standing. Last 11 months. Anybody? If you're observing the yard site, the anniversary of a loved one's death at this time, Rebecca?
Goody, Kellner, Weintraub, and Blossom, Isabel Weintraub.
Hilda. May all of them be blessed on high. Anybody else? And together we will all rise for the Kaddish. Page 598. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach yiruteh ve'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chayeh l'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'bizman karim v'imru. Yehei shemei rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lavmei amaya. Yikbrach v'ish tabach v'it ba'ar v'it raman v'it naseh. V'itadar v'italev v'talal shemei dekudasha v'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush v'chata v'nechamata da'amiran be'alama v'imru. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'okol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May God, who is the creator of all, who is there, even if we don't think so, we should have faith in that which is unseen. May that divine spirit watch over our loved ones who have moved into the heavenly realm, and give those who are recently passed safe passage from this world into the next, and bring peace to the hearts of those who are grieving and mourning at this time around the world and in our community and in our homes. And together let us say, Amen. Please be seated. Well, as many of you know, Marianne is in Israel for the wedding of Sasha, as we said at the beginning. And so I will just give you some brief announcements. The main thing is Monday. So if you are coming to Seder here, please be on time. I know that our caterers, they get antsy. And we did ask that they put some of the appetizer plates out on the tables, because I know some of you just really want to eat. You're kind of ravished and want to get started. So we'll have that, and we'll do that. If you want to bring your own wine, we have Manischewitz, but if you, it is a kosher, Le Pesach, this is one time we do kosher around here. So if you want to bring kosher wine, that's fine. A lot of people like the Bartonora. That works. You can bring that if you want. We will not charge you a corkage fee. So I know some people may want the beverage, our Temple Emet signature drink, but I don't know if I can get into the kitchen because they sort of take the whole thing over. Although maybe we could set up a bar in my office, but I don't know. There's like, somewhere we need to draw the line. Bring your wine. So we will be having Dan's class. He sent out a notice of 2 classes coming up. Read your email. Looks very interesting. I saw Oliver and Finian's Rainbow and all that stuff. Very exciting. My favorite play, I was Nancy and Oliver. Had 104 fever when I had to do it and got Bill Sykes hit me in the face. My whole mouth was full of blood, but you know what? The show goes on. So enjoy that one. So that being said, we've had a lot of social things that we've been doing, and really I encourage you, if you see something, watch your email. I know we send out a lot. My own daughter said, man, you guys are doing a lot of stuff. And so we really have between 15 and 25 people at our events. So sometimes it's different people, sometimes it's the same people. But it is an opportunity to share and to be together and to move forward with life and to celebrate. Like I said, I recorded something they asked me to record something for Sasha's wedding, and I gave them a blessing, but I said, thank you to all of you for moving forward. Israelis don't stop, they press on. And they live life, and they know how valuable it is. And so we need to do that too, so that it's not in vain for what their sacrifice is over there. And we will be the first Friday service in May. It falls on Cinco de Mayo weekend, so we will be going after the service at 5. We'll go to Alfredo's right over here, bring a light sweater, but we're going to try to eat outside. They do have heaters, so it might be a little easier than the last time we went there. And we are going to go to the Long Beach Museum of Art to have brunch at 11:30, and I think it was May 9th that we're going to do that. The Fall Guy, there's a movie that we're seeing on May 7th. So we put the lunch bunch will be May 15th. We're going to switch back to good stuff so we can rotate a little bit. So just keep your eye on everything. Roger's class every Monday night. And if there's anything that you want to do that we're not doing, let us know. Bring food or things for the bins that we have in the back. But most importantly, just come, share Shabbat, be with us. We love to be with each other. That's one thing we do well here. Hanging out with each other, worshiping that which is unseen, and we eat, drink, and we're married. So, that being said, anything you guys want to add? Anybody? No? Okay. Tuesday nights, if you want to be with the musicians and participate in rehearsals, I'm sure at one point Dan was ready to start a choir. Joel Rubin, I know you have a voice. I heard it at Thanksgiving Interfaith. Yes, Kathy.
Maybe you should talk about Save the Date June 8th.
Okay, well, she's on it because it's going to be at New Horizons, our big gala. Hopefully you've already put that in your calendars because we've been talking about it, and it's going to be a great time. We saw the room, Fran and Kathleen and Linda and I. It's all going to be fabulous. I know what decorations Linda's bought, and I know a lot of the silent auction items that are going to be available in a many different assortment of price ranges for everybody to participate. So, please, come. All right, what are we going to close the service with after we bless each other with the Birkat Kohanim? Sounds like a don't alone. You know, it's like name that tune up here. Okay. Everyone rise if you're able. Let us each and every one of us bless ourselves. If you don't want to have the person next to you, if you're alone, go find someone else to stand with. As we bless one another, Bonnie, get on over there. Get over there with somebody. Go over there with Sonny or somebody. Nobody should be alone. Brianna, get over there with Kathy and go ahead, with Stuart. Don't be alone. One of Brianna always comes from the East Coast to be with us for Passover and for Rosh Hashanah. Let us take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. As we contemplate the Birkat Kohanim, may God bless you and keep you. May God's countenance shine upon you. May God be with us always and grant us peace. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Yaher Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yisem lecha shalom. Kei Mihi Ratzon, may it be God's will. Shabbat Shalom. Kiddush and Motzi and our cake. I don't see our cake. Thank you to Jeremy and Heather. Marsha brought the cake. If you want to go bring it out. But first, Adon Olam. Are we ready? Page 625. We really missed Hilda when she wasn't here, and I think that seeing that eclipse in Mexico on that cruise ship has made an even greater connection with you and the universe of all cosmos. Once again. Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'Terem Kol. Page 625, Yitzir Nivra, Leit Nasa, V'Chefsoko, Hazai Melech, Shemo Nikra. Azai melech shemo nikra, ve'acharei kitlot hakol, levado yimlok nora, ve'hu haya ve'hu hove, ve'hu yeh ve'tifara, Adon Olam Asher malach, ve'terem kol yitzir nivra, le'nasa ve'hefsoko, azai melech shemo nikra, ve'acharei kitlot hakol, levado yimlok nora, ve'hu haya ve'hu hove, ve'tifara, ve'hu haya ve'hu hove, ve'tifara. Kiddush and Motzi, get your bags if you want. Be sure to sell your Emet. Almost Chag Sameach. Thank you to our musicians and everyone who participated. Thank you to Cookie for the candles, Jeremy and Heather, and of course our wonderful Dan and our wonderful Hilda. Thank you so much.